The first major area to invest in is what I call task burden, when you're simply behind on the small tasks and projects that life gives you. In the big picture, this is not the most important area at all. People and relationships matter much more. But this is often the best place to start because it has a very high return on effort. Task burden can create large penalties very quickly, and unlike many other problems, it's often highly solvable. Sometimes a few focused hours of work can dramatically reduce your task burden. Now, any individual task can create its own penalties. Dishes get harder to clean. Notes take longer because you have to sit there and try to remember what happened. But when you fall behind on too many things at once, two new major penalties emerge. The first is fragmented attention. Any unfinished task your brain is tracking takes up a small piece of your attention. One or two might not matter, but as things accumulate, the toll becomes significant. It becomes harder to focus, harder to work efficiently, and easier to fall even further behind. You've probably felt this. When you're behind on notes, it's harder to be present with the patient in front of you. But when you can finish a task, your brain can then let it go and you get that attention back. The second penalty is time stress. Tasks themselves aren't always stressful, deadlines are. When you have more to do than you have time to do it, your system ramps up. And it's a very fragile system. Let's say you have an hour to do 50 minutes of work. You probably feel fine. But now one extra task appears, and now you have an hour's worth of work to do in that hour. Now you have stress because you have no more margin. You add a little more that you miscalculated on, and it quickly escalates into triage mode, crazy stress. Small changes in load can create large changes in your stress. That's what makes being just a little behind so costly. It sets you up for unpredictable, high stress moments throughout your day. And it is so easy to miscalculate how long something takes or forget a task until the moment of, or have life throw you a curveball. So the recommendation is simple. Move in the direction of being an anti-procrastinator so you can keep enough margin and not be so fragile with your time stress. When you have small pockets of time when you could either get something done or let it slide, bias toward getting it done. Those small decisions often prevent much larger penalties later. And because of those penalties can be so large, you'll sometimes face a trade-off. You want to rest, but pushing through and getting more things done might actually reduce your burden more than resting. That's why I often do my notes over lunch. I've tried both approaches, and I found that a relaxing lunch followed by 4 hours of stress and fragmented attention because I didn't do my notes is a worse game than just doing my notes over lunch and not having a relaxing lunch. Of course, there are times when rest is the better choice. You must choose wisely, but don't discount the power of working a little extra to make your future life easier.